Hi, my name is Maddie Baker. I'm a junior nutrition major, and this is my second year being a leadership intern at the Shaw Center for the Nutrition Initiative.
Hi everyone, my name is Vaishnavi Varma and I'm the Outreach Coordinator for Engineering Ambassadors.
I'm Sarah. I'm a senior in Folk College of Sport and Human Dynamics. I'm a social work major. I started working at the Shaw Center almost 2 years ago. I work for the Literacy Corps and I started off as a tutor and then I became an intern in the office.
My name is Asul. I'm a biomedical engineering major. I'm a sophomore currently, and I'm from New York City, specifically the Bronx.
I'm Sam Sistari. I'm a senior in the Whitman School of Management, majoring in finance with minors in sport analytics, psychology, and economics. I've been helping with the Balancing the Books initiative since my freshman year. Started out as a volunteer tutor, then I was a site coordinator my sophomore year. In the spring of last year, I was program coordinator as I was abroad in the fall, and now I'm serving as the resource coordinator, which is a little bit of an expansion as we have a 5-person team this year.
I've been a part of SULC and the Shaw Center for basically my entire school.
So I got involved with Engineering Ambassadors my freshman year of being at SU. The old program coordinator, Justin Sheplock, he was part of the club volleyball team and I was on it at the time. And just one day at practice, he was like, hey, do you want to come to this training session to get trained for engineering ambassadors? I think you'll like it. And I was a bit hesitant at first, but after going to the training session, getting trained and going to my first session, I just really loved the experience. Everyone on the program, from the site coordinators, the teachers, to other volunteers, to the students, were great. It was just a great experience that I had, and it was so great, in fact, that a year later, my sophomore spring, I applied to be a site coordinator for Engineering Ambassadors, and as you can tell, now I am part of the coordinator position.
I started officially in '92, so what does that make? 28 years that I've been involved in this agenda.
The transformation from in-person to virtual was a challenging one, but I think that was a good thing in the sense that it make us push our interns and our tutors out of the comfort zone and explore new alternative and new things.
Our new approach is also something that I think I'm learning a lot from that, and I wouldn't have had that experience otherwise, so I am grateful for that.
It's hard. I miss the human interaction. I wasn't working in the school anymore, but our tutors were obviously still in the schools, and I miss having the relationships and engagement with the tutors because they would come in to do timesheets or they would come in to ask questions. We would have multiple in-service trainings and workshops throughout the semester, so we spent a lot of time with them and we saw them all the time, and we got to talk to them about what was going on in their sites and with their kids. And I really miss all of those interactions, and I miss doing all the in-services and trainings and stuff because those are always a lot of fun. It definitely looks very different, and I miss that, but I'm glad that we're still going and we still have interns and we still have our professional staff, and so hopefully we'll be able to get back to semi-normal at some point.
And then I'm also very grateful for our Engineering Ambassadors team, just because everyone's been very supportive, and I have full faith in my team that we can get through any challenges and do really well too.
Yeah, so one thing about being in person at the Shaw Center is that when the phone rings, you're always there to answer it. So I sort of miss that factor of being there and also just seeing everyone's faces. Well, now people are wearing masks, but still the physical factor of being around people is sort of different, because now I'm in front of my laptop and that's as much interaction I'll get with cues. So I feel in terms of that, that's a factor that I won't be able to be getting at home. But in terms of being able to be an intern and working and still gaining skills, I feel that's the beauty of the technology that we use at the office, because I can access a computer from my own laptop at home. So it's been a very different situation, but I wouldn't say it's completely bad. Like, I feel like it's sort of really, really beautiful the way we're adapting to the situation.
Last semester was definitely difficult for us because we weren't able to put together a plan to move online and teach the students in that format. So we had to get creative in different ways to try to engage them and thank them for everything that they've given us. And so the direction that we went was, first of all, our last session with them, we tried to make, a little extra fun, have a little extra activity and engagement with the tutors. In particular, our site coordinator, Rocco, for the middle school, he had us not do so much as a lesson plan our last session, but more so just a bonding opportunity for the students and the tutors. And the students really enjoyed that. And then moving into, quarantine times, we decided to make a thank you video for the students, and also a recruiting video with the tutors. The recruiting video was a lot shorter, about 2 minutes long, and the thank you video was about 15 minutes, and mostly consisted of the tutors saying their favorite moments from balancing the books from this year, talking about experiences they had with particular students, and really just thanking the students for everything that they give us, because a lot of people see these initiatives as us giving back to the community, but we don't always consider how much we get from those students and how much their engagement in those lesson plans really is just a great learning opportunity, but also just like a time for us as people in the Shaw Center and the tutors for the Shaw Center, just to get a chance to see people outside of the bubble that is Syracuse University, interact with them in a positive way, and just like get smiles on our faces.
One of the first thoughts that has come to my mind in the midst of all of this is, how and where are we actually going to physically interact and interface with the community in the future? Because we're not really going to be able to do that very effectively right now. And what can we do that would really be helpful for them, as opposed to being just creating an additional burden for them? So in the meantime, what can we do? So all of our initiatives are looking at different ways that they might be able to create resources that could be helpful. We're going to try to do some virtual interactions.
We're not planning on going back to site in person because we believe that the safety concerns outweigh the potential engagement benefits of going back to in-person sessions. So we're trying to get creative and find ways to connect with the students and also to improve the tutor experience and our tutor training. So we're planning on putting together some tutor training sessions where we can get feedback on them from how the training has improved from past years, how it can improve going into the future, and different ways that we can ensure that their interactions with the students are as beneficial as possible for everyone involved.
We're going to be doing a couple of workshops throughout the semester that will be virtual, like through Zoom. We're hoping to set up like a self-care. It might happen monthly, it might happen bi-monthly, but like some kind of self-care workshop that tutors can do, because I think it's a tough semester for everyone, and we also want to give them a few opportunities to earn some money and be engaged with us.
Our programs are great because of the material. We do think it's really important to teach nutrition concepts to students at a young age, but a really big part of our program is like the relationships formed between our volunteers and the Syracuse City students. So going into the semester, we were all definitely disappointed knowing that like we wouldn't be able to go in person, because our volunteers love being role models for the students, and it's just a bummer. So with Food Busters, we're looking into other ways to give volunteer opportunities to our volunteers.
We've been reaching out to some local nonprofit organizations about what are you guys doing right now? Just staying in touch with them and just asking what's going on, if they're going to be providing tutoring or not. Some of them have come up saying, yes, we are, and we are right now trying to develop a way of providing that tutoring. So we decided, well, in person or online, it will work for us either way. So we have worked closely with them to develop remote tutoring. In this sense, we are going to be helping a broader range of students, because some of those local organizations are providing tutoring to not only elementary students but middle schooler and adult learners. So in that sense, we're going to be expanding our services to, impact, a larger population.
We thought running a virtual format would be the best idea. We will be developing new lesson plans for it, and we are going to make sure that it is accessible in terms of materials and the activities that the kids are going to be doing at home. And we are going to be looking at topics that we haven't actually been able to look at in the past, while also making sure that our ambassadors are able to contribute and be involved with the students as much as possible virtually and safely, and still be able to network with each other, with us, and continue being a part of the local community.
So little by little, some of those things are starting to happen, which is great because it will give us a chance to explore how does this work and how can we manage it appropriately. We tend to think that the more knowledge you have, the more you know the answer. And that's not really true. I think the more knowledge you have, the more knowledge you have to be prepared to work with people who have the problem when they tell you what the problem is. The reality is the answer to the problem is always in the problem. So how do we tease that out in a way that allows us to use the knowledge we gain in ways that are really productive and helpful?
The challenging part would be not just to keep it, stay engaged, because they are engaging in one way or another, even if it's remotely. But I think what we're missing is building those connections and those personal relations. Not having that tutoring in person. Build that connection with the students. I think that's the most challenging part. I think tutors and students, they like being, interacting with one another, and you're missing that when you are doing this online. I know among the tutors, we are planning on doing in-services, but not lecture type, something more interactive, like trivia nights and doing Kahoot. So that way you're still building those relationships and interacting with one another while remotely.
Like, everyone's very supportive of each other's ideas, and I think even though we're all engineering and STEM majors, we are all very analytical, but also at the same time we are very creative. So it's never been oh, this is too much of a challenge and we can't do this. So everyone's always had a very positive attitude, and everyone, I think every coordinator is very different, and and I think our team, we all complement each other really well. So I honestly, I feel like I can't answer what has been a big challenge. I think it's just trying to convert to a virtual format. That has been a challenge, but it hasn't been something that our team hasn't been able to push through.
Being at home, because at home, I've never had to do school at home. Even in high school, I would do my homework at the library. So being at home and balancing my family responsibilities with my academic responsibilities 24/7 is something that I've never had to do, because I would either physically go to school and then I would come home. But now it's sort of those two worlds have combined. So I sort of have to figure out how is it going to work now? And I feel like it's going to be a process, but I'm sort of getting the hang of it.
It's more than just the material and the content we're teaching. We really love forming the relationships with the students, especially Books and Cooks. The fifth graders get so excited for our volunteers to come in. You can see in some of our pictures from previous sessions, they do form a relationship in just a few short weeks, and they get so excited to learn about the food, and the hands-on aspect is really great. So that's really challenging because they're not in person, so we can't encourage them the same way that we usually do. And then also, it's been challenging trying to figure out how we're gonna figure this semester out. We've definitely had a lot of team meetings, and we've had to be very creative, and it's been a little bit stop and go, but I think it's we've learned a lot throughout the process, and I think just learning to be adaptable and being able to switch around and adapt to whatever, because it's always changing. Mm-hmm. At first we thought we would be able to go in person, but then that changed, and then we thought we'd be able to do virtual, and then that changed. So I think the challenging part is just not getting discouraged and just still trying to make the best out of the situation that we are in.
part of the challenges of doing this work is really understanding what we mean by community engagement. It's a much deeper way of partnering with the community and understanding what their challenges are. So there are ethical issues, and there are structural issues, and there are institutional challenges with continuing to work with and in the community. The first one I think we had to consider was the ethics of sending our students into the community who are coming from all over the United States, who may carry the virus with them, or who may pick the virus up in the community and bring it back to campus, because I know the community is very concerned about us having students from all over the world, basically, on campus.
This year, we decided to run Engineering Ambassadors completely virtually. This comes in with COVID-19 impacts, and we wanted to make sure that we would be able to deliver to our mission and give our ambassadors the opportunity to interact with the local community in the safest manner possible, while also keeping in mind that we are in Syracuse and we don't want to increase the number of COVID-19 cases.
Since all the places we work primarily went virtual last semester, even the nonprofits where we had tutors, we would have to do a lot of our work virtually. What this opportunity has provided for us is a chance to think more deeply about what are we talking about when we talk about engagement? We're talking about real equitable partnerships and doing what is helpful and what really advances things for the whole community, and not just a small sector, not just to satisfy something we might want to do. If you have a better understanding of whether it's philosophy or psychology or religion or history or literature, and think a little bit more deeply about human interactions, I think that would help us reconsider the fact that values and integrity, they're very important in doing this kind of work. It isn't just doing the task. It's about interacting with individuals from all sorts of different places who have different ways of thinking and different ways of doing things. That has to be done with respect and thoughtfully and with empathy. No matter what happens, there's nothing in the world that can replace being face to face and person to person, even if all you do is sit there next to each other. Because that piece of connectedness, I'm convinced, is why the literacy program has been so successful.
That's one of the things I really love about the Shaw Center, and I feel like that's sort of made my experience is the resilience of the entire program. Like, it's been around for decades now, and even now with COVID and all that stuff going on, we're still trying to find ways that engage the tutors and it doesn't feel like it's really a lost semester. And that's always been the thing, like I said, about the Shaw Center and Literacy Corps in general, is that it's hard to not be engaged. We have so many trainings and workshops that go on. Just the other day, I was on a workshop for creative writing. Like I said, it's the thing about SULC is that we're never too in the moment. We're always thinking about what the future looks like. And that's hard, especially now when you can't really predict the future. The Shaw Center has a way of grabbing people, connecting with them, and keeping them in the loop and inside the network. And that's one thing that I'm excited for, even when I graduate, just still being involved and seeing what's going on campus. Nothing but great things to say. Shout out Catherine, shout out Carla, shout out the entire squad. Love you guys. Pammy, we love you. Laurel, do what I do. Bye.